This video is for business leaders whose plans aren't perfect. So this is related to a personal story. This was the planned topic. I've modified it to use situationally inspired topics to hopefully make it more relevant to more people. Right now, my bathroom is quite literally filled nearly to the ceiling with houseplant supplies, gardening type supplies for my apartment, and invention materials. It might seem off the wall to say, but this is one of the things that can happen when you are illiterate in the language of the country in which you live. Essentially, there was an unexpected change that I was unaware of because I didn't read the notification, which was in Japanese. I can often use Google Translate to get enough of a gist, but most times in the last 15 years, they have been entirely irrelevant. So I normally ignore them. So on Friday, unexpectedly, I received a notice that said, of very few in the last 15 years, I've maybe received 2 or 3 that were in English, and that I received, and it said, please remove everything except your washing machine from your balcony immediately. There's some construction going on. It's actually, I think they're just going to sand and clean the surface of the building and then repaint it. But of course, everybody had been informed, including myself, but I didn't read it because it wasn't in a language I read, and I chose to ignore it. So suddenly I had perfect plans. I have an upcoming possibility for an attractive contract, and that was actually my priority. So I had my 2 main things I do, my top priority, which is my video, and then the secondary thing, which was fine because I had enough time to do both. It has to be submitted no later than the 30th of this month, which is, for me, 3 days away because it's the 27th. It's already Monday here, Monday afternoon, or sorry, Monday morning. So I suppose I could have prevented this by just learning how to read Japanese, except quite literally the 3 hours a day for 2 or 3 years it would take for me to get there would be a foolish use of my time, since my business has nothing to do with Japanese or speaking or reading or writing Japanese. So it was really a better priority, and has always been a better priority for me to focus on my business and my other activities, which are not focused in Japan and are in English language. So as aspiring and current leaders, we always have an equal amount of the ultimate currency, and that is time. So when something compromises it, like what I'm describing here, we have to take on a certain approach. So the actual name of this episode is Managing by the Seat of Your Pants When Dealing with the Unexpected. Long-winded, I know, but surprise, surprise, the algorithm really liked that sentence. So here's what I propose as an appropriate way to do this. Now, if you have a better way, a different way, I would love to hear from you in the comments. That would be wonderful. We can only have one priority by definition of the word. If you look at the origin of the word priority, it basically means singular thing of importance or something like that. I'm not sure who said it. I read it in a book or listened to it in a book a while ago. I just can't find the book reference, so I'm not going to, I would normally love to give credit. So this is especially true that we can only have one priority, because now at least most people in the world are now aware that multitasking is a myth. So we can't do anything more than one thing at a time well. Therefore, it's even more relevant perhaps than it otherwise would have been. So when something's unexpected, here's sort of the approach that I take. And as I said, I would love to hear alternatives, especially if you have alternatives you feel are better than this. So here it is, and that is for unforeseeable circumstances, you only have one priority. So given that, I would say you can ask yourself this question. In light of this new development, does that priority has to change. So you have a priority, or I'll presume you have a priority, something that is normally the number one thing, short-term or long-term destination with which you're directing yourself towards. In my case, right now, for the rest of this year, it is a video a day. And that is a challenging priority while doing everything else to run a business, to build a business. So if it does have to change, so if yes, what and for how long? That is, what do you have to change to? What do you have to change your priority to? And for how long? As I had to do with this, I had to basically take a day out of my schedule when I don't really have it to empty my balcony of stuff while doing these applications, these submissions for an attractive contract, and maintaining my priority of doing a video a day. So if no, that is, you don't need to change your priority, great. Then you can ask yourself, what do I need to do to optimize, or how do I need to optimize what I'm doing now to maintain this priority in light of this new and unexpected development? Finally, and as a last resort, ask yourself this: do I need to compromise on something else to maintain my current priority? Now, your current priority could be the priority you just changed out of necessity, as I had to for one day yesterday to get that stuff off the balcony, or maintaining the priority that did not change, and you only compromise if you have no other choice. In this case, I have a silly way to do this. Remember, what you're trying to do is you're trying to maintain and minimize disruption to your larger plan, your destination, which is your general plan that you've already made, which couldn't possibly have anticipated everything without taking quite literally infinite amount of time. So there's another time where you have to balance or optimize anticipating problems against obsessively anticipating problems to the point that you're now wasting time anticipating problems, most or all of which will never happen. Now you're wasting time. Okay, so here's my suggestion then. So you first prioritize, decide whether you need to change your priority or keep your priority. And then second, to optimize to maintain that current priority, whichever one it is. And third, and if and only if, compromise on something to allow the new priority or the current priority to maintain its force so that you can achieve it. This is mostly around time, but it's around any resource that is necessary, where you can't have all resources in one bucket if you have more than one bucket. So how do you deal with unforeseen circumstances? If you could please share that in the comments, that would be wonderful. Here's my compromise. It's very simple, but it's significant to me. And that is, normally I'll put a recommended article or a recommended video, whether it's mine or somebody else's, at the end of all my videos. I'm not going to do that today because as it's the 27th and I have only to the 30th to get the rest of these documents and to create the rest of those documents, that has to take priority, and I may or may not come back and do this. So that's my small compromise I have to make to maintain my current priority and still fulfill those other time-sensitive commitments. So this has been Crush It Club 177, managing by the seat of your pants when dealing with the unexpected. My name is Tim B. Green. Bye for now.